All right, this is a very quickly thrown together episode of Gaffer in Gear. So it's about the Aperture MC Pro, using it as a CRMX receiver. So in the review I did on these, I said you could use this as a CRMX receiver with the cheap Amaran cable. You don't need to use the expensive Aperture DMX cable. So what I base that on is, for months I've been using the MC Pros as CRMX receivers with the cheap Amaran cables that came in some of the tubes that I bought. All right, so I'll just show you here I've got a Forza 720B, and if I use this setup plugged into the Forza 720B, absolutely no problem at all. Responds to CRMX beautifully, absolutely fine, no problem. Use the same setup. So that's the MC Pro with the cheap Amaran cable. I use that on a Forza 60C here, Forza Nanlite 60C. Plug that in. Okay, let's give that a bang, and there we go. I've got DMX control, CRMX control of that. Now, people have been messaging me saying they can't get this to work. They're trying it and they can't get it to work. So these people clearly know what they're doing, you know, having a chat to them. They've got everything set up right. And one of them mentioned he'd been trying it with a Sky panel. So I'll give it a go on a Sky panel, and this is where I have to apologize profusely. I'll plug it into a Sky panel. Okay, same setup, and no response from the Sky panel. Occasionally it comes up with a DMX connection. It switches over to DMX mode, but no response. Now, if I change it from the cheap Amaran cable to the slightly more expensive Aperture cable, which has this little box on it, it seems to work perfectly fine now with the Sky panel. So I've got complete Sky panel control using the Aperture MC Pro as a CRMX receiver. Now, the other thing I have noticed just in messing around with this today, if I plug this back into my Forza 60C and then operate my Forza 60C over the CRMX, I actually get smoother CRMX commands with the more expensive Aperture cables. So my apologies. In the episode, I was literally just talking about my experience with these, using the cheap Amaran cable. I've been using them as CRMX receivers, but I didn't realize it was just complete luck that I'd only ever been plugging them into lights that seem to be weirdly compatible. But my experience is that the more expensive Aperture connector seems to work with the other lights as well. So if you're going to use these as CRMX receivers, if you want maximum compatibility, get the Aperture cable, not the cheap Amaran cable like I said you could use in the review. Okay, my apologies to everyone. Okay, goodbye.